First, to our top story this Friday. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and US President Joe Biden have adopted the Atlantic Declaration to boost economic ties. The deal is being touted as a move to level up the two countries' 2 centuries-old trade and economic relations. Well, the declaration aims to boost industry ties on defence and renewable energy, as both the countries face growing competition.
And with their families. Countries like China and Russia are willing to manipulate and exploit our openness, steal our intellectual property, use technology for authoritarian ends, or withdraw crucial resources like energy. They will not succeed. Today we have agreed the Atlantic Declaration, a new economic partnership for a new age, of a kind that has never been agreed before.
Under the plan, the UK and US will work to strengthen their supply chains and invest in each other's industries. Sunak seeks support for tens of thousands of small businesses in the UK. The plan contains an in-principle agreement for a deal on minerals that are used to make a range of products, from solar panels to electric vehicles. It will also give UK exporters access to the huge $370 billion green subsidies program in the US. Well, Biden is also expected to ask the US Congress to designate UK as a domestic source for defence procurement and a source to help speed up development of weapons such as the hypersonic missiles. He also said UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace is very qualified to lead NATO. The first Atlantic Charter, which was a joint declaration, was signed during World War II between the leaders of that time, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and US President Franklin Roosevelt. But the current scenario is quite different for the UK. Many experts argue that Sunak is still struggling to prove the relevance of UK post-Brexit. Well, let's talk about this now with Andrew Whitehead, who is an historian, author and former BBC senior journalist. Thank you for taking the time, joining us live from London today. So this isn't quite the big trade deal that some were hoping for, but it's something, right?
Well, it is something, and I think that's the important point. Rishi Sunak is not returning from his first visit to the White House as Prime Minister with nothing to show for it. But the big thing about the Atlantic Declaration is what it isn't. So this is not the wide-ranging trade deal between Britain and the United States, which the Brexiteers, those who supported Britain leaving the European Union, said would be easy to achieve and would be the cornerstone for Britain's continuing economic growth and diplomatic importance. That moves towards a trade deal are dead. It's just not going to happen. It's not the direction of travel. So this Atlantic Declaration, which is a rather grand-sounding title for a series of important but fairly restricted measures, it's useful. It does give Britain some access to America's green economy, to the defence industry there. It's a statement of intent about economic security, but it's nothing like as important as the Atlantic Charter of the 1940s, which led to the creation of NATO and to one of the most important geopolitical blocs of the last century.
As you say, there's a real historical view to look at this. It's not nearly as big as what we've had in the past, clearly. Do you think that this is anything to do with Joe Biden being a little bit lukewarm towards Britain?
Well, he has been a little bit lukewarm, particularly concerned about British policy in Ireland. Joe Biden's family is of Irish descent, and he's been worried about anything which destabilizes the peace deal in Northern Ireland. And I think America has decided that it's not going to hitch up with Britain rather than with the EU, and it's not going to reward Britain for Brexit. But I don't think there's any underlying hostility there. I mean, the chemistry between Rishi Sunak and Joe Biden was quite good. It wasn't excellent, but this was really their first meeting as heads of government in the Oval Office. So I don't think there's anything there which is going to be a real impediment to Britain developing links to Biden's America. But nevertheless, the special relationship is probably not quite as special as it was a decade ago.
No, I think you're quite right. Andrew, thank you so very much indeed for offering your expertise. We appreciate it. That's Andrew Whitehead there, historian, author and former BBC senior journalist, joining us here on WION Today, live from London.